Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing my pick'ems for round 2 of Masters Bangkok. Pretty nice opening first round, I think. There were definitely some scrappy games. There weren't too many like great games, but I do think all of them were fairly entertaining to a degree. So yeah, I mean, if you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, everything like that really helps me out. Trying to get up to like 1.5k. Don't have a specific goal for this year. Like last year, it was to get to 1k before my rebuild series, but I don't really have a specific one this year quite yet, other than to just make better content pretty much and have a better understanding of the game and whatnot. But yeah, it should be fun. I do think these matchups are pretty cool. We don't got the G2 Vitality matchup quite yet, which I do think is actually a good thing for the tournament. But yeah, I think we'll just hop straight into this. Actually, this is very important for this round. So when a region gets eliminated, whether it be Pacific, EMEA, or Americas, I'm not doing player rankings for China yet. I'll be putting out my player rankings for that region. So like say T1 gets eliminated here and the DRX loses to Vitality and then whoever they play in the next round, then I would post the Pacific ones per se. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that on my Twitter. Link is in the description, everything like that. And yeah, let's get right into this. So we'll start with kind of a little recap about how I feel about these picks. Feel really good about G2 and Vitality. Kind of easily got through their games. I think Vitality started a little slow on a few of the maps. G2, I think they also did, but Josh RT called timeouts pretty early to kind of fix that. And then they ended up kind of rolling through the rest of the map pretty easily. Sentinels, in terms of making it through, I don't feel super great about them. I would probably take a couple other teams over them, just because I'll talk about them when we get to the Team Liquid game, but they didn't look too great against DRX, and I do have my concerns with them. EDG, I also feel pretty good about making it through, playing some more meta, like on meta comps with the Yoru, the Vise, and the Teo. Their game against Liquid did look a little scrappy, but I did expect that to happen. So yeah, I don't know. So we'll get right into the games now. DRX Vitality. I do think Vitality is just going to win this game. It is group stage DRX, so make of that what you will. But this is a pretty high pressure game. If you win this, you're in playoffs automatically, I believe. So I am going to take Vitality with the experience in this matchup. They did play a pretty close game against T1, but so did DRX in that final. So I would say Vitality in this game, especially like if they start slow. I think get like you call a timeout early like G2 did or something like that, fix some stuff, get more adjusted to DRX, and I think they'll be able to get through the rest of like both halves in a game and pretty easily close this out. I do think DRX should be able to get a map against Vitality though. Let me see. What was Vitality banning against T1? They banned Pearl. Was that what they were banning? Yeah, they've been Pearl the whole time, which isn't. I mean, is that a bad map for DRX? Again, I don't remember. Okay, DRX have been banning Pearl as well. So both teams have been banning Pearl. That might get floated in this game potentially. I would hope it gets floated, but I don't think DRX will, which again kind of plays into that. But I would favor Vitality on quite a few maps over DRX in this series. That's why I'll pick them. I also just, again, as I said, I like the experience. Then G2 EDG. This one should be a really, really fun game. This is a rematch from Champs last year, with EDG losing to G2 in groups, but ending up making it further in the tournament overall. As for this tournament, I do think EDG has looked a little bit worse. They're not that same team that did win Champs, and I think G2 looked pretty clean versus Trace. Although I don't think Trace looked great. I think a lot of Trace's issues were like pressure stuff, like looking pretty nervous in terms of their just general decision making and everything like that. Like once G2 started getting leads on both of the maps, it was kind of Trace trying to make a bunch of hero plays and stuff like that. So I am going to pick G2 here still, just because I have confidence in these 5 players. And also in EDG's games, they didn't look super clean. So I do think, I mean, the chaotic factor of EDG that could work really well against G2, but I'm not exactly sure it'll get them far enough, especially when some of EDG's individuals didn't look super great in that Team Liquid series. Namely, Simon, I think looked pretty weak, um, and I would take Valen in that IGL matchup over nobody pretty much any day of the week. Then last up here in these last two games, you have T1 versus Trace. I think the two worst. No. I actually think Liquid looked pretty bad. T1 Trace. This is an interesting game. I think Trace play more like stable Valorant than T1 do. I think T1 did play pretty well against Vitality. I just think they got kind of out aimed, out called, and everything like that. This is probably the best matchup in terms of just how close it will be in this round. I really do want to take Trace, but I think T1's individuals are going to get them over the line in this matchup against Trace, I think. And just the experience and in an elimination game with Trace not playing that well against G2, I think I'm going to take T1 ever so slightly. Then Sentinels Liquid. Liquid, I mean, they looked pretty good on map 1 on Split. But once EDG started getting stuff going on Pearl, then they kind of started to fall apart a little bit. Again, this is a big pressure game with a lot of young talent on Team Liquid and a young IGL in terms of just not having a bunch of experience. Like, obviously, Nats has been to plenty of international events. Patty Tech has been to a couple last year. So this team does have some experience on the roster, but not a ton in terms of like the other three players have never been previous to this one. Sentinels, though, I want to talk about Sentinels specifically because they are playing the meta comps on most maps. Like maybe not against DRX. Like they kind of leaned away from the Yoru in that game, which does kind of concern me that they kind of retooled stuff specifically to make Zekin look good when I think he already looked good on the Yoru. Personally, like he looked amazing on it. Playing it on like pretty much every map except for Abyss, I believe, where he was playing the Jet. I mean, Haven, I think they still looked pretty mid at best. Like I know they got 10 rounds against DRX, who is decent on Haven, but like on their attack side, it looked like they had about maybe 5 ideas. Both times they had the Astro Wall, they did the exact same play, but DRX countered it the second time. So that map isn't too great for them. Is one of Liquid's best. I would be surprised if they didn't ban that out against Liquid. But Liquid's also looked good on Fracture, which Sentinels ended up banning against DRX. Liquid's also looked good on Abyss, which Sentinels has not looked great on outside of that one game where they anti-stratted G2. I think the matchup in terms of Liquid causing chaos against Sentinels, who are not super like coordinated yet with this roster, and the map pool matchup of being a good team on Fracture, on Haven, and on Abyss, that will be a free map for Liquid. Sentinels do like leaning into Split quite a bit. And Liquid's really good on that map, playing a very like weird style. I think this will be a 2-1. I think Sentinels will probably end up playing Pearl in this series and winning on it. Barring a complete like shit show from Liquid, I do think they're going to win this game against Sentinels. So these will be my picks. I mean, obviously this is going against my Swiss stage pick'ems where I had Sentinels going through, and against my power rankings initially, having Sentinels kind of go out in 2. But from what I've seen and what I feel about Liquid, I do think this is how this tournament's going to go now. I do think Sentinels will be good down the line. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these pick'ems in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.